remove the empty spool there, we'll use that in a minute. So, film goes in. Okay. Our other spool goes here. Across, there's our symbols and numbers. Lift. Push that down, locks it in place. And feed our film. There's a narrow slot there. We're going to feed our film into that, like so. And we twist until it's tight. You can just about see them in that window. So I would take my photo and then wind it onto the next number and take my next photo and so on. Once the film is loaded, we do not open the camera until we have finished and securely wound the film and put it in a light-proof container. So let's look at the front. So slightly closer view now. Our front element here. We have two symbols here. The number 1 and the B. 1 stands for 1/40th second. That is how fast this camera can take a photo. Okay, so that's quite quick, but not as quick as a modern camera, obviously. B stands for bulb. That means we can keep the shutter open for a much longer amount of time. The longer the shutter is open, the more light that we allow in. So that's useful when there's not much light. Okay, so you have manual control over how long you keep the shutter open. So I can do 1 second, 2 seconds, or longer. The triangular teeth, okay, they're to help give you grip. So I can push that, so I can move that up and down. It's got a spring, which gives it a nice click. Can you see what's happening? So in here, behind the front element, but in front of the shutter mechanism, we have the aperture. Okay, so in this camera there are only 2 aperture settings. You can see which you can choose between f11 and f16. f11 is wider than f16. So at f11 the opening is wider and it will allow more light. So this will help when your location is dark. It also increases the amount of background blur or reduces the amount of image that is in focus. So again, if you wanted a photo of a puppy and you wanted the background slightly blurred, you might go with f11 rather than f16. f16 is quite a bit narrower, so that lets in less light. So you might need to allow yourself a little bit longer to take your photo, maybe with the bulb setting, but the advantage is more of your image will be in focus. So that might be really good for a landscape. These pieces of folded leather that create that space inside that allows the light to travel through the lens and onto the film are called bellows. So any vintage or antique camera where you see these, sometimes they're red, sometimes they're blue or brown, okay, they are called bellows. Okay, and in this camera they are made of leather. They're a little bit dusty, they need a clean, and they allow the camera to fold. Okay, there is one final thing I would like to show you on this camera. Okay, this small socket here, which is next to the shutter release lever. So when I press this, it takes a photo. So what is this? Well, remember at the start, I showed you the items we'd be using. We also have this. And this is a flash unit, or flash light. Rank Aldis E310 and a logo of whatever that is. Bulb. There's a bulb inside here. Information telling us about batteries and voltage. And a recessed area, so cut into the plastic of the flashlight, allowing us to fold our cable away neatly. It's so neat. A button for opening inside, in case anything needs repairing, and we can switch between alternating current and direct current. The inlet for AC voltage is here. We're not going to use that, we're going to use batteries. Batteries are of course direct current. We have here a small calculator for helping us decide what film we might need, what camera settings we might need. So as I spin this, it indicates the relevant settings I might need. And last, we have a small metal foot that can be tightened. I wonder where that will go. Remember the hot shoe? We can tighten it so it's secure. We can turn our flash 90 degrees. And let's see if it works. Ensure I observe the correct polarity of the batteries. You hear that sound? That's the charge building inside a capacitor. What we need is a switch that allows us to short the circuit, therefore triggering the bulb to flash. At the moment, we have no way of triggering that because there's no button on the flash that does that. But we do have this small cable. Okay? And remember, I showed you a mysterious socket on the front of the camera next to the shutter release. So the button that you push when you want to take your photo. And when you're taking a photo, that's when you want your flash to work. Let's see if this fits into that socket. Yes, it does. So let's see if it works. Charge the capacitor, short the circuit, trigger the flash. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. You can find all my other videos on the channel homepage.
Mr. Solomon, welcome to his class. Today you're going to learn some photography, not economic geography. Take a seat. Make sure your work is not incomplete. Before you go in class, make sure your shoes are neat, just like Mr. Solomon's feet.